Hello, everybody. Give me a fucking second. Let me fix the camera so that y'all can see this precious, sexy face in the Lord's Day. And by the Lord's Day, I mean it's a Saturday. It's not a Sunday. I also have gotten very few hours of sleep. I'm like running on 2 hours of sleep, so I'm doing this on 2 hours of sleep. It's gonna be. I feel like I may have mixed crack cocaine and like fentanyl. I don't know. It's not going, but we're gonna make this work somehow. Um, uh, Hello everybody. Welcome to Nothing Upstairs. I am your host Etzel. It's gonna be another weird episode because we're gonna be not having Brian around today. He is off doing God knows what. Actually, that's a lie. I had a problem with my Wi-Fi, and so our scheduled time that we were gonna film this week did not work out for us. So, and he was busy the rest of the week, so I decided to do a solo episode. Um. Anyways, enough about that. Enough about Brian. Really, fuck him. Fuck that guy. I am me. The real important person here. I have been gathering up so much shit to talk about over the last few weeks because we haven't had an episode in a little bit. I think I was sick with the flu for like a week, and then Brian was also sick with the flu for like the following week. So it's been a minute, and both of us have been we've been going through it. Let's just say, that flu, by the way, made me feel like I had been knocked over multiple times, run over by a train, maybe car wreck also as well. Might as well throw that in. While high, while on that fentanyl that I was talking about, while on that cocaine, mixing the two, going through that car wreck. That was insane, terrible. I know I'm not the only one. Y'all motherfuckers out there, I know y'all have been going through it too, because everybody and their moms is having the flu right now. But yeah, it's been fucking crazy. And from the sounds of it, it looks like Brian was also going through it because he still has a cough and it's been like 3 weeks. So mine didn't last that long, but it sure as hell sucked ass. Major. It sucked major anus. It was terrible. Um anyways, enough about sucking anuses. I let's see. What are we talking about today? What are we not talking about today? I had some topics in mind that I had been thinking about for the past couple of weeks. And they are good topics, but we will see if my 2 hours of sleep are able to have the capacity to produce the content that I want to produce today. We will see about that. We will see about that. Let me put my phone on silent. Might as well. That's typically what you want to do with podcasts and like content creation is put your shit on silent. Yeah, yeah, not important though. First of all, the first thing I want to talk to y'all today is I've been door dashing as I usually do, and my schedule has been all kinds of fucked up. I've been going to sleep at literally like 5 6 in the morning, and then waking up at like noon 1 or 2 p.m. That's my schedule. And then I cook, and then I go DoorDash, and then I get off at like 1 in the morning. The lunch rush is not. It's not really a rush. It's not giving me money, so I decided to change it back to working from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. also. And let me tell you, I have been getting out at 1 in the morning, going to the gym after, right? Work out for about an hour and 15 minutes, get out of the gym, and come home to eat from whatever I cooked earlier, and watch a movie or do something fun because at this point I hadn't done anything for myself in the entire day, right? Which means that I'm like 6 in the morning. But there was a little something going on this week that I'm sure most of y'all know about, which is that winter storm, that damn winter, the damn fucking ice dump truck that went through most of America here in like the last week or so, that just dumped like straight up Cane's chicken ice. Like it was just, I looked outside and there was Cane's chicken ice falling from the sky. And then it accumulated everywhere, and then it thawed out and refroze on itself. And then there was just, everywhere was a skating rink. Literally somebody was snowboarding outside of my house on straight ice, on straight ice. So it, that has been going on, obviously. Because of that, the company I use, HelloFresh, sponsor us. They're not gonna sponsor us, but whatever. Might as well try. The HelloFresh, the company that I use to cook, because I cannot for the life of me get myself into the damn grocery store. Even though every single time I go to the grocery store, it feels good to go. I don't know what it is. Are y'all motherfuckers also going to the grocery store and like just having the most peaceful chill time? Cuz like every time I go to the grocery store, I get in those doors and I'm like, none of my other problems are exist anymore. Right now I have 10 things that I'm needing to buy, 20 things that I needed to buy, and that's all of the problems that I have in my life. And then I get out with my little shopping cart. I feel like such an adult. I'm like, with my little shopping cart. I'm like, that's right. I'm looking around at all the old people in HEB and I'm like, I'm just like you. If you think about it, I'm just like you. I'm also a responsible adult. Yeah. Little do they know. Little do they know. And I'm actually just gonna stop it like right there. Little do they know. I went around, shopped a little, or shopping around in HEB or at Walmart, whatever the fuck Walmart, HEB. Um, that's just so chill. And then every time you get out, it's like the coolest sunset in the world for some reason. I don't know what it is about leaving the grocery store, but it's either bright and sunny out and like the perfect day, and like immediately it just what makes you want to go grab something to eat instead of cooking whatever you bought. It's like, no, I'm not going home because it's such a beautiful day. Or it's sunset and the sunset is like fucking the aurora borealis in the middle of Texas. So the grocery store shopping is fun. I don't know what I, but for some reason my brain is like no. My brain is no. I say, well, I need to go grocery shopping, and my brain goes, no, you don't. You're not going to. I'm not gonna allow you to. And I'm like, can we negotiate? Can we compromise? No, there's no compromise here. You do as I say. You do as I fucking say. So, lo and behold, I don't go to the grocery store. Um, so I use HelloFresh. HelloFresh, what the fuck tangent am I on? HelloFresh could not get to my doorstep, considering that the world turned into a giant ice rink over the last week. So they had a little bit of a delay, which meant that I needed to go buy stuff out. Needed is a strong word here. I needed to go buy fast food. Needed. There's shit in my fridge that I could have used. Whatever. I'm like, no. Wait. Hello. Hello. That was very strange, guys. I don't know what that was about. Let me move that here. I like slapped the hell out of my microphone and it just went fucking caboozle. Oh my god, I need sleep. Anyways, as I was saying, HelloFresh couldn't get to the front of my door. I needed to go buy fast food. And for the first time, I've realized, not for the first time, but I've been pissed. I need to get something off my chest. I've been pissed. Y'all, I've been pissed. Because, hear me out. I get out of the gym. It's like 3 in the morning. And I'm like, fuck, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. And I immediately look on Google and everything's closed, obviously, because employees gotta sleep, right? Employees gotta sleep. Apparently, some companies don't think so, but most companies, at least as of right now, think that employees gotta sleep. Um, but there's a few places that are open. McDonald's, namely, Taco Bell, depending on how late I get out of the gym. Usually it's close, but mostly McDonald's and Whataburger, and there's a Subway, like a single Subway in my city that's open. Um, and then that's it. That's These are like the only options you have. And I've been craving McDonald's. I've been craving cheeseburgers. I've been craving whatever the hell. I have more options, obviously, during the day. So my first meal of the day, I get to choose whatever the fuck I want for out of fast food. I can eat Panda Express, but I know that the second option is gonna be constrained because I get out at 3 in the morning. So I'm roaming around the streets, right? Picture this: me and my Subaru Forester roaming around the streets looking for something to eat, and I get cravings for McDonald's, and I'm like, I need to go to McDonald's. I actually need cheeseburgers in my life right now. I need a cheeseburger. I need my chicken. I need both of those. And so I get my ass to the drive-through, and lo and behold, and this is not news to anybody but me, McDonald's does not serve any day menu items during their breakfast hours, which starts at 3 in the morning. First of all, McDonald's. First of all, motherfuckers, listen up. Listen up. Your time has fucking come. Because, first of all, what the hell do you mean? Who the fuck is waking up at 3 in the morning being like, oh, time for breakfast? Bitch, nobody's waking up at 3 in the morning. Nobody is waking up at 3 in the morning wanting breakfast. If you're out at 3 in the morning on the goddamn roads, on God's given roads, on these Texas roads, if you're out at 3 in the morning on these Texas roads, let me fucking tell you, you're not looking for breakfast. You are probably have not gone to sleep yet. Not you're waking up at 3 in the morning looking for breakfast. Unless you're one of these crazy motherfuckers. I know you know who you are. Who are like waking up at 3 in the morning so that they can get a run in, and then they need to watch a movie after to like chill out and like get their headspace going before they go to work. Fuck that. Hell no. I don't know what is going on in the background, but unless you're one of those, listen, I everybody else is just awake at 3 in the morning. If you're awake at 3 in the morning and you don't want breakfast because it's the end of the day, unless you're like the people that go to IHOP at night, which is a lot of people, so I can't. Don't bully me, guys. Listen. um, so I just want a cheeseburger. I just want a cheeseburger. By the way, there's several menu items from the breakfast menu that include a patty and buns. Like, can you just add the motherfucking cheese? Okay, just add the goddamn cheese, please. I just want pickles and cheese. Matter of fact, give me the bun, give me the patty. I'll go home. I'll add the cheese and I'll add the ketchup and I'll add the pickles because it shouldn't be this hard. What are we doing? What are we doing? 3 in the morning, guys. 3 in the morning. I'm not waking up at 3 in the morning to go grab eggs. No, from McDonald's, out of all places either. If you're responsible enough to wake yourself up at 3 in the morning before work, you're responsible. I expect you to cook a whole fucking buffet. Out of you, I expect you to be able to cook omelets for yourself and everybody in the neighborhood. Your neighbors better be getting breakfast in bed service if you're waking up at 3 in the morning. So whatever. No, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm not taking fucking. I'm not taking shit. I'm not taking shit. I want my cheeseburger. I want my McChicken. I roll up to the drive-through and I'm like, "Sir, I would just like a cheeseburger." He's like, I'm sorry, but we don't serve day menu items. I'm sorry, but we don't serve day menu items. Okay, so this is literally me rolling up to the drive-through at 3 in the morning, being like, "Sir, I'm gonna need no. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm. Can you move a little bit? I'm just gonna squeeze by." Me literally entering like halfway. My body's halfway through the damn drive-through window. I'm like, no, no, no. Listen, no, it's okay. Just I need to squeeze by, sir. I need that cheeseburger. Okay, I told you I needed the cheeseburger. I told you I needed that cheeseburger, and I wasn't lying. So now you're gonna squeeze. No, you're gonna let me squeeze through. You're gonna let me rev up those fryers, rev up the damn fryers because I need that cheeseburger at 3 in the morning. So Yeah, me literally doing that in my head. But when in reality, what's happening is I roll up to the drive-through line, and he's like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't do cheeseburgers." Literally looking at an item that's entirely cheeseburger without the cheese, and I'm like, "Okay, thank you, thanks." Which is the only option to do if y'all motherfuckers are fighting out here. Actually, you know what? I want that cheeseburger. I'm gonna fight next time. McDonald's, be prepared. I'm coming. Oh Lord, he coming. Oh Lord, he coming at 3 in the morning. Expect me climbing through my big fat ass, climbing through that window. Expect it. It's gonna happen. You know who you are. Expect it. It's gonna happen. And I will be cooking that burger for myself. And you will stay there. And you will stand in the corner and you will not say shit because I will have by this point threatened you with your life, and you shall. This is sounding extremely illegal. Y'all, this is a joke. Kind of. I will threaten you. I will threaten you. Okay? I will threaten you. I will get your store closed down. Um, so yeah. It yeah. Really, I just want a cheeseburger. That's all it is. At the end of the day, that's all that matters is that I get my damn cheeseburger at 3 in the morning. To me, right now, in my life, I feel like this season of life, I just want. I'm just feeling really cheeseburgery. That's like what my soul needs right now. It's nothing else. I don't really need anything else. Let's see what other shit happened during another failed situationship. Another failed situationship. That's right, motherfuckers. That's right. We failed another one. We failed another one. Actually, I don't like the word failed. I'm not getting into that. You know what? Hold, pause. Another failed situation. Let's just say that. And then what else happened? Um, I got an angry customer yesterday screaming at me about the fact that their food is taking so long. Meanwhile, I had a stacked order. I had to deliver another order. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. First of all, I can no. First of all, you need to tone it down. Tone it down, motherfucker. Listen, it's 8 p.m. It's 10 p.m. Yeah, I'm already driving you all the. I'm driving this damn food all the way to the fucking hotel to go find your stupid ass room. Listen to me. Dial it down. Pipe down. Pipe down. She and lo and behold, at the end of the call, I look at the customer name, Karen. Yup. You know that's right. And you know that's right. And when I showed up, bleached hair, bleached pale hair. It's people really be doing it to themselves at this point. I'm like, ma'am, you really are not helping your people. You are not. This is your culture. Your culture is inferior. The culture of your people. So yeah, literally Karen, and that's not. I'm not even joking. But yeah, shout out to Karen. Please don't do that again. I just I'm just a DoorDasher. I got other orders to take care of. Listen, I'm just make my way downtown, walking past. Literally me, 10 p.m. Chill out. I'm just a girl, really. At the end of the day. So yeah, that's been going on. What else has been happening? Oh, I've been on a streak recently. I'm so sorry. My eyes are crusty. Why are my eyes so crusty, y'all? It's rough. Rough out here. I have been on a mission recently. I've been on my movie shit again. Ever since the last failed situation, I was like, you know what? I don't need to talk to people currently. I actually kind of need to just sit down and watch movies every single day for multiple hours. And I wanted to I am usually a huge fan of horror. Like that's it's something that I really like. I've liked it almost my entire life. I really started liking it in college, which yeah, sounds about right. That's my entire life. Whatever. I don't count anything before that. So it has been a while since I've been into horror. And it's just the problem with horror is that as a movie genre, it gets so old so quickly. It gets so old so quickly. Um, you know what? Pause this real quick. 'Cause I need to make a phone call real quick. Hold on. I need to make a phone call. You know what? Never mind. I don't think the microphone's picking it up. My parents are having a fucking party downstairs. Sounds like by the sounds of it. There's like blasting music. But I what was I talking about? Movies. That's right. The only problem with the horror genre that I'm feeling is that after many years of watching horror movies, they get so old. They get so old so quickly. The horror, the kind of magic, it loses its magic. It loses its scare factor. I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore. Um, you know, the whole reason why these movies were scary in the first place is because there was actual horror elements that went through it, but like, and they like it was somewhat brand new. You know, you still had the anxiety, especially if you grew up religious. You still had the anxiety of like, will this movie affect me? Like, if is this real and stuff like that. But eventually, after you watched a bunch of them, you start to realize, okay, these movies won't affect me in any way, shape, or form. There's no effect on anything around me. It's just fun, and you also start to like, especially if you haven't experienced anything paranormal in your life, you're like, this shit isn't real. This shit ain't real. I'm sorry, this is some woo woo shit. This some woo woo bullshit. This some woo woo bullshit. That's what it is. So I'm like, it doesn't scare me anymore. I'm like, whatever. It's just a monster or whatnot. I still enjoy horror, particularly the psychological type of horror that like has to do with like the real life themes of like mental illness or family trauma and stuff like that. Like that is enjoyable to me because there's a real life element to it that it actually drives the horror behind it. I think that's one of the things that I really like about psychological horror. So things like, I'm looking at you, Ari Aster, motherfucker, listen to me. This damn director, Ari Aster, if you don't know him by name, you know him by movie if you're a horror fan, because that's the guy who directed Midsommar. That's the guy who directed Hereditary. This motherfucker knows how to write horror movies. Also, I'm looking at you, Ryan, and I can't remember his full name. The guy who directed The Witch, and Nosferatu. Beautiful, fantastic, horrifying, deeply terrifying movies, especially The Witch. Deeply fucking terrifying because it's not. They again, the horror elements aren't. Yes, there's the horror element of like Satan is in a goat. Satan actually lives in their backyard, and it's in a goat. Spoiler alert, everybody. Um, uh, or is it Satan? You don't know. You'll have to watch the movie to find out. So the entire plot of the movie is like, is Satan living inside a goat in our backyard that we really dislike, or do we just really hate this fucking stupid goat? And let me tell you, it's an annoying ass goat. It like, it keeps ramming in people, and like, I believe on set it actually did injure, like break someone's rib on set. So like, this goat was being annoying as hell. Literally, what was going on through their heads is Satan in our backyard, or did we just buy the worst fucking goat known to man? So, but deeply, when it comes to it, like in all seriousness, the movie is terrifying because there's this sense of isolation. Not only physically, because this family is in the middle of the woods in New England in like the 1600s, but also emotionally for the protagonist, the daughter of this family, who feels alienated from the rest of her family as she has to fulfill a performance of what womanhood is at this time. She can't really be herself. She can't really allow herself to enjoy things. She has a duty, and everything's about obedience and submission. And so there's this emotional isolation, there's the physical isolation, and how it drives them fucking mad at the end of the day. Like most of this movie, you're like, I'm not entirely convinced that there is Satan is in the goat in the backyard. I'm kind of convinced that these people are just going batshit crazy. And to some extent, that still remains true by the end of the movie. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And to bring it back to the point, these psychological horror movies, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about regular horror, which is most horror. It's not these genius psychological movies. They're hard to come by. They come out like every couple of years. But your random average horror movie is like not doing any of this. It's just, you know, it's just there to scare you, which is fine and all fun, especially when you're watching with like people and stuff like that. But it gets old. It gets old eventually. And so I've been sort of I'm gravitating towards more real life thematic horror and all increasingly things that are terrifying things that are terrifying about the world. So I've been fascinated by this idea of scary movies or scary movie scenes in non-horror movies. That's what I've been like super invested in recently. My obsession with this started with, and many of y'all will know, spoiler alerts for anybody who hasn't watched the movie Parasite. Um, Parasite, a Korean anti-capitalist film or a capitalist critique, is first of all fantastic, genius movie. Symbolism everywhere, the cinematography, the acting, the soundtrack. This movie does not get its what it deserves when it comes to the soundtrack. People do not talk about the soundtrack of this movie enough, especially the song Belt of Faith. Look it up on Spotify. Belt of Faith, Parasite. Um, it's just genius. Like it's genius in a way that it fits the narrative of the movie so well, but it's also such beautiful pieces of music that you can watch it or you can listen to them even if you haven't watched the movie like at all. It doesn't matter. You can listen to them without it and it stands alone as an independent piece of film, and like in not in a way where it reminds you of Parasite either, because like I know that people will be like, oh, but I listened to the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack, which by the way, fantastic fucking soundtrack. But the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack, it's hard to take that piece of music and completely disconnected from How to Train Your Dragon itself. You listen to the piece of music and you feel like you're like going to fly dragons, and that's all fair and dandy. And the soundtrack at that point has completed its role, is successful at doing what it's meant to do. But Belt of Faith transcends that. Not only Belt of Faith itself, but the soundtrack of Parasite overall transcends it, and you can listen to it without any connection to the music or the movie, and it's just fantastic. um so Parasite is fantastic film, but there's one scene, going back to the horror shit in non-horror movies. There's this one scene in Parasite, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, where the mom is talking about a flashback, or there's a flashback introduced. The mom is talking about a moment in her child's early child the a moment in her child's early childhood, where he snuck in to grab a piece of cake from the fridge, and she's talking about this in reference to his artwork, because apparently she believes that his this child is an artistic genius. She's very naive in the movie, and she because she believes that her child is an artistic genius, she starts to believe that somehow this traumatic experience of her child when he was really young has affected his paintings, which I'm sure it probably has. But in the scene, he's eating a piece of cake alone in the middle of the night in the kitchen floor, completely dark. And one of the poor homeless people that are living in the basement of this home, again, spoiler alerts for those who haven't watched it, he we don't know this at the moment. We know this, but the main character who's explaining the story doesn't know this. She thinks her son has legitimately seen some sort of spirit or ghost, and she's explaining it as such. She's like, my son saw this creature, and the camera points directly at the staircase leading up from the basement, and in the middle of the dark, all you see is big, two big bulging eyeballs emerging from the top of the stairs. Hell no. Hell no, bitch. Listen to me. When I tell you this scene, I watched Parasite for the first time by myself in the middle of the night, not knowing that there was going to be any scariness whatsoever to it. I knew that it was a thriller, but I didn't know it was going to be a horror, like there was going to be any horror elements. And then I get to that scene and I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Well, no, thank you. I didn't want to sleep. No, that's fine. No, you know what? I didn't want to sleep. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't want to sleep. It's okay. I did kind of want to stay up anyways till the sunrise. I didn't. I literally had to turn on all the lights. I'm like, no, 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 we're not doing this. I had like full movie setting. I was eating a bag of grapes completely in the dark. The only thing that's shining is the movie in the middle of the night. And I was like, actually, all the lights are coming back on. Actually, every single light bulb in this household will be on. Every single screen and source of light will be on. There will not be a shadow existing in this damn house after I watched that scene. Terrifying. Literally terrifying. There is no such scene in horror movies that matches the level of suspense and horror of that one scene in Parasite. It's so, so good and so, so, so effective. But where was I going with this? Yes, non-horror horror movies. I've been obsessed with this idea of finding movies like that because it scares the living shit out of me because it's also real. It's not it wasn't a ghost. It was literally a homeless person living in the basement of their house. Like that's and which has happened before in real life. So I was like, you know what? I need to find like real life horrifying thematic shit. I need to find movies that are scary that are non horror movies. And I remember literally typing that in to Google and seeing what comes up. And T, what has been coming up is absolute and utter fucking tea. Best quality in the market, tea. Motherfuckers. Listen, this shit better than boba tea, let me tell you. This shit, every single movie slaps. Every single movie that I've watched from this list has just shocked, horrified me in one way or the other. And they're not horror movies. They're not scared. They don't have jump scares. It's literally the concept of them that's terrifying. So I'm trying to think of the ones that I've watched recently that have been on this list. Um, okay, we have Donnie Darko. That one's in there. I think that one. I haven't fully decided what Donnie Darko is truly about, other than maybe concepts of faith and death and life in general and choices we make. But it's a very creepy movie. At the end of the day, it's kind of terrifying in some aspects. Um, the concept is kind of depressing, but it's that one wasn't the scariest one of them all. Nightcrawler, bitch, Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler. First of all, this is a psychopath movie. And so you bet your ass there's gonna be the toxic alpha male community obsessing over this movie, being like, this movie's goaded. This is literally me, bro. This is literally me. Yo, no, bro. This is like so me. No, yeah, it's so me. No. I'm like, y'all, ish. I don't if it's you, get help. If it's you, get help. Because the protagonist of this movie is quite literally canonically a psychopath. Like, and then they're doing this with Patrick Bateman too in American Psycho. I'm like, he's literally me as he's murdering women in cold blood. I'm like, yup, no, that's great. And you know what? I don't necessarily disbelieve them, to be completely honest with you, and that's kind of scary. I guess in that concept itself is scary, but it's such a good movie and it's such a good criticism of capitalism, which I always eat up. Give me a movie about criticisms of capitalism or society, social criticisms. Give me a movie with social commentary and I'll eat that shit up. Sinners, eating that shit up. Anything that has to do with any social criticism in movies, eating it up. So I think this movie is fantastic, so well made, and the really the horrifying thing about this movie is the main protagonist. He's just, oh my goodness, he's so calculating and manipulative. And the scary thing is that every step of the way he gets rewarded. Every step of the way, as he's manipulating people, as he's being cunning, as he's being uncaring and unempathetic and calculating, he gets rewarded by society, by the society structure that he lives in, i.e., capitalism mainly. A society that prioritizes profits over the well being of people. He fits in just so well and he succeeds. Spoiler alert, but he does well for himself. He builds something out of, I don't want to spoil too much, but he builds something for himself in the society by using exploitation, and he fully manipulates people cunningly, and he hurts individuals with no remorse. And at the end of the day, it just makes his own company better. And it's not the first movie that's like that, but I think it's not the first movie that's criticizing capitalism in such a way, because I'm trying to think of like the McDonald's founder movies and like other movies that criticize it, but it's probably the most concise and literal criticism. Like in a way, I think Nightcrawler criticizes capitalism better than even Parasite does. In a weird way, in such a strange way, because Parasite is heralded as like the quintessential criticism of capitalism movie. As much as a movie can criticize capitalism, considering that a movie as a medium is a capitalist currently, is is capitalist, as it is right now, Hollywood entirely. Um, but Nightcrawler does it very well and very concise. It's like, oh, and it's the message is quite clear in there. In the structure of capitalism, you have a system which rewards putting profits over people's well-being, and as such you are rewarding and making it more and increasingly comfortable for people who are psychopathic, people who do not have remorse, people who are hungry for power, to simply go out and do whatever they please, whatever they want. And it's not even deterministic in that fashion, because like many of the problems we get with criticisms of capitalism is that they come down to some inherency of the human nature. They're like, oh, well, but human nature, like, but human nature. And I think that's what Parasite does really well with their critique of capitalism, is that it's 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 really literally written in a monologue of the movie. Parasite, at one point, the mother of the, like, I can't remember, the Kim family, I think it is. The mother says, the daughter is like, oh, she's very, the rich, wealthy lady. She's very dumb, but she's so, so nice. And the mom is like, she's so rich, but she's so nice. And the mom is like, no, no, no. She's not rich and she's so nice. She is nice because she's rich. She's rich so she can be nice. If you're not rich, you can't be nice. And that point is driven across more poignantly in Parasite than in than in y'all. What the fuck movie was I just talking about? Nightcrawler. That point is driven more concisely in that, and that makes it a powerful criticism of capitalism, because it's not just, oh, some people are just evil, we need to guard against these evil people who just exist and are randomly walking about. It clearly points to the material conditions that they live in affect the way that they view society, that they view that they the way that they interact and relate to others. i.e., whether you're going to be cooperative and super nice, or whether you're going to be selfish and manipulative to try to get what you need. And the movie portrays the picture that the more poor generally you are, the more you have to be competitive. You have to be uncaring to some extent, because otherwise you're not going to make it. Whereas if you're nice, you can be as caring as your heart desires. You can give and donate as much money as you want. You have it all. So Parasite does that really well. But Nightcrawler, I think what Nightcrawler gets better than Parasite in the aspects of the criticism of capitalism is the worker owner relations. Is like the relationship between those who own a company and those who work for said company. It gets that extremely well in the relationship between the main protagonist and the side. I can't remember movie names for some reason, but the relationship between the main protagonist and his his sidekick. In essence, if you haven't watched the movie, he is dirt poor and he's trying to make money by stealing shit. And at some point, he realizes that he can't really make continue to make money this way. It's just not working out for him. And so he happens to drive by, and like a lowest point of his life, happens to drive by a he happens to drive by a car accident, and he sees two people with huge cameras like getting up close and personal into the car, into the person who's been hurt, and into the car and stuff like that. And he starts to realize that they're filming for something and he doesn't know what. He asks them more about it and he realizes that they're filming for television, but they don't work for television. They film the footage and they sell the footage to news networks. So because of this, he decides to do that himself by getting a camcorder. He steals something, sells it to try to get his like baseline equipment, and he needs a worker who helps him navigate because it's really hard to navigate and like use a police scanner to scan for things that are like terrible and tragic so that he can film them. And he finds quite literally a homeless man. So the most the most susceptible to exploitation that a person can be. He finds that and he's like, "Oh, and you're going to work for me." Yeah, you're hired actually. And the guy's like, "Sure, I'll take it." And the job pays he pays him $35 a night. And the guy's like, "I'll take it," because he really doesn't have anything else to do. He really can't get anything else. $35 is $35 more than he had yesterday. And so immediately you get it. It clicks in your head that this is exploitation, that he's just exploiting this worker. And the way he manipulates cunningly the worker as he's like helping him and he's like asking essential questions as to like, why aren't I getting more money? Where's my raise? You tell me that my performance is doing better, that our communication is improving. Where's my raise? Where why aren't I getting when I'm doing like half the work? And the way this guy just gives him expert corporate speak, just terrible, unempathetic, parasitic, psychopathic corporate speak. Like it's like, oh well, you're actually your salary is comparable to the market value of your labor in the labor market currently. I'm like, I don't give a shit what the labor market is doing, motherfucker. I don't have money to eat. I don't give a shit what the labor market is doing. I don't give a shit whether this is average or not average. I don't have enough money to eat. And so you see him tread carefully, the worker tread carefully this muddy waters of like, I'm trying to push for a raise, but I don't want to push so hard that I lose my job. And at some point, and I feel so bad for him, but he is granted the raise because they're about to do some very illegal shit. And he's like, oh, um, the Nightcrawler, the protagonist, he's like, oh, I'm just letting you know that you're getting a raise. You've got great performance things and stuff like that. You name the price. And the guy's like, I don't want to. Like, I feel bad. But he's like, $75 a night. And I'm like, no, bitch. You could have asked for more. And he shakes on it. And then he's like, wait, I could have gotten more, couldn't I? And the guy, Nightcrawler, is like, yup, you 100% could have gotten more. But now we shook on it, so it's okay. Yeah, now we shook on it, so we're not reopening those negotiations. Exploitation. Exploitation. Under the guise of freedom to choose your wages, he's psychologically built a trap where he's like, you asked for too much and I might just terminate you. So it's your choice. You'll feel better about it at the end of the day because you did agree with it to it instead of me naming a price and giving it to you. You'll feel more agency without actually psychologically having more agency. Because at the end of the day, I made it seem like asking for more than that would get you terminated. And so it's just, it portrays that relationship between the owner of the company and the workers so well in capitalism. Um and it's terrifying because the concept is that these people exist and they don't have remorse. And our society is like, our society when it sees a psychopath, yay! Our society when it sees a psychopath, woo! Yes! Go! It's like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? It's 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 terrible. It is literally terrible. And especially considering when I think in a population, I think there's some studies out there that have suggested that in psychopathy and psychopathic traits are overrepresented in a population of CEOs. So, given a certain population of CEOs, you have nearly 40% rate of psychopathic traits or something like that. Don't quote me on this. Look it up. I think it is a study that I read like quite a long time ago. So don't quote me on it. There's probably methodology things that need to go through it, and like what exactly is a psychopathic trait? Are these people meeting the diagnostic criteria, sample size, whatever the hell? But generally speaking, it is usually understood by individuals that CEOs, especially the really high billionaire CEOs, they are over psychopathic traits are overrepresented in this population. And so the movie is talking about a real life trend that the people who are the most exploitative are also the wealthiest, and they have the power to exploit further. And like, it's just terrifying. It's a terrifying concept. It's more terrifying than the Conjuring could ever fucking be, bitch. It's more terrifying than the Conjuring could ever be. The other one that I watched, I'll hit this one briefly because we don't have a lot of time. I don't want to talk about it too much, but the other one is the last threads, I think it is, or threads. I think it's threads, and it's an '80s film about what could happen in a nuclear holocaust, and it's like Soviet Russia and the U.S. tensions. Obviously, that's the like height of the Cold War, but it's also fucking terrifying for obvious reasons because you get to see the effects of a nuclear blast in Great Britain, and so it's terrifying in its own fucking way too. But yeah, I've been watching these movies because they are getting my adrenaline reaction the way that I used to feel about horror movies, the like adrenaline rush and stuff like that, that I've lost with regular horror movies. They are getting it more, increasingly more. I'm finding these movies are actually getting me. And yesterday I watched No Country for Old Men, which has probably the most terrifying antagonist I've ever seen in my life. And maybe Nightcrawler competes, but like two expertly written psychopaths in film. Um, so yeah. Uh, anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Is I just look into this. Look into movies that are have horrifying scenes or that are horrifying themes thematically, but aren't horror movies. And I promise you, you'll enjoy some of these movies. movies. They're very, very good. Um, I think that's everything that I have today, guys. Let me think. Anything else that I've been music that I've been listening to? I haven't been listening to much recently. I've been listening to podcasts here and there, but music, I think Chance Pena. Chance Pena. Shout out to Chance Pena. If you don't know him, he's kind of Gregory Alan Isakov, kind of folky, whatever. I've been listening to him more recently. I've been getting back on my Gregory Alan Isakov shit. The ship has docked. The Gregory Alan Isakov ship has docked in my bay. Um, so I am getting back on that. Obviously, um, I think that's pretty much it. Any plans I have for the week? I don't. I'll come out with another episode next week. That one will include Brian, and I think we're gonna talk about Avatar, and our perspectives as biologists on the real life implications of Avatar, mainly what inspired Avatar and why Pandora actually is Earth. I think that's the next topic we're gonna do, so be on the lookout for that. But I think that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for showing up and listening to my dumbass rant about random shit. I don't even know what to fucking talk about for the last fucking 50 minutes. But hey, if you enjoyed this shit, subscribe, hit the bell, hit all the bells, do all the things that normally you would do. And come back next week for our episode over Avatar. Anyways, adios, motherfuckers.